Hello and welcome back. This week's sentiment analysis is pretty much what it has been the last 3 weeks. Careful planning and risk management. The only thing making any money right now is the war machine, and that's bad for the rest of us. But there is at least a silver lining in that, and that is what I'm going to talk about today. If you've been following my support server over the last 4 months since December, then you know I have been experimenting with MUSD on Kraken. I needed something to test a theory, and I set up a strategy to do just that. This is similar to the Oanda GridBot strategy I use, but it doesn't have some of the more refined capabilities that Forex supports, whereas crypto does not. But it still did a very good job. We can see on the screen the market I have been tracking, the actual prices of the asset. And you can see where the asset has gone within the last 3.5 or so months. It's been pretty consistent and reasonably stable for its point of view. I don't necessarily recommend trading real money with this asset, but as you can see, it is fairly consistent within this test window. So let's actually look at how much I accumulated of the asset itself. Now this is measured in the asset of M. The prices that I accumulated and how much I had total of M at the highest point of my crypto bot, which was 8.25 M, roughly speaking. Not bad, really. The high point really is not as bad as I thought it would have been, but still controlled. And that's really the whole point of this strategy. A controlled basis that constantly moves up and down, taking profits as it can. So that's an important part of this whole process. But how much did I pay in fees? Because that is recorded as well. If I can hit the right button here. Here's what I paid in fees. So you can see quite an interesting thing here. I had a bit of a spike in the fees here by the exchange. I don't know why, but these are recorded exactly as the exchange produced them. And that exchange is Kraken. For the most part, though, my fees are pretty good. And now that I think about that, I actually do know why. The fees here are from my strategy selling off a large portion of positions. This is a DCA strategy. So when it sold off everything, that was the fee for the total combined effort of my DCA. I should have thought about that before, but yeah, it just came to me. So we can see how even in the DCA, the fees are countered. So let's actually go and look at the wallet. This is the part that's most important. Here it is. This account actually made, for this run, this single trade cycle, a profit of, let me reset everything here, a profit of $42, and it used $10 position sizes, the minimum that Kraken allowed. So we have a reasonable level of operations here. My account started out at this amount and it ended over here. And you can see throughout the history of the account the purchases and sells as they took place. That's important because you see exactly how much money was actually invested at the account, which from the looks of it, about $200, if I did my math right. That's not bad. Now, how much of M did I actually hold? Well, we have that here. This is actually of M itself. So I held at a maximum of 60 M at one time. And the actual dollar amount of M is $8. So at my worst case of this asset, I held about $8.25 or so. So for $8, I made 42. So let's see, 8 times 4, 8 times 5, 5 times my maximum exposure. That's really nice. So my profit is 5 to 1, or 500%, however you want to look at it. This is really the best way to survive the market. This is how you plan your worst case scenario. This is what it means to look at the market, find a strategy that is able to function. The strategy is in the Jackrabbit support server. It's on Patreon. And of course, please leave me a comment and I can always direct you there as well. Ask questions. It's not a perfect system because nothing ever is. But I can live with this. Now, the biggest risk of this kind of a system is you don't know how long a trade cycle is going to take. This particular trade cycle took 4 months. So $42 4 months, that's an average of $10 a month. I wouldn't say that's worth writing home for, except for the fact that I only had $8 actually at risk, which is not bad. And that's $8 in MUSD itself. That's not necessarily the exposure, which you should look at in a different way anyway. But still, not bad. It's an acceptable level that you can clearly see how well this process works and how well to lay it out for your risk assessment. So, let me know what you think. Share your thoughts. Please ask questions. Thank you for watching.